Good morning to all of you. This is the explanation part of the chapter 12, that is the friction. You know that you might have seen a driver of a car or a truck slowing down the vehicle at the traffic signal, and you too, while driving, slows down your bicycle whenever needed by applying brakes. Have you ever thought why a vehicle slows down when brakes are applied? Not only vehicles, any object moving over the surface of the another object slows down when no external force is applied on it. And by applying its external force, finally it gets stopped. Have you not seen a moving ball on the ground stopping after some time? Why do we slip when we step on a banana peel? And why is it difficult to walk on a smooth and wet floor? We will find the answer to such question in this chapter. First, we have discussed about the examples which we have discussed as a queries and what is the force of friction. In the explaining of force of friction, we have discussed here activity 12.1. Suppose gently push a book which is placed on a table and you observe that it stops moving after some distance. Repeat this activity pushing the book from opposite direction, and does the book stop this time too? Your answer will be yes. And can you think of an explanation? Can we say that a force must be acting on a book opposing to the motion, and this force is called force of friction. You saw that if you apply the force along the left, the friction acts along the right, and if you apply the force along the right, the friction acts along the left direction. In both the cases, force opposes motion of the book. After all, what we observe in both the cases, whatever the force applied in the right direction or left direction, finally its result that books gets stopped. The force of friction always opposes the applied force. In the above activity, the force of friction acts between the surface of the book and the surface of the table. And is the friction same for all surfaces, and does it depend on the smoothness or roughness of a surfaces? Next topic we have discussing in the next section, that is what are these factors affecting friction. Before discussing factors affecting friction, we have discussed activity 12.2. Tie a string around a brick and pull the brick by a spring balance. You need to apply some force and note down reading on the spring balance. When the brick just begin to move, it gives you a measure of a force of friction and between the surface of the brick and the floor. And in this activity, we have discussed a new instrument known as spring balance, and first we have to know why spring balance is used in this activity and what is its structure. Spring balance is a device used to measuring the force acting on an object. It consists of a coiled spring which gets stretched when a force is applied to it. Stretching the spring is measured by a pointer. This part is known as pointer moving on the graduated scale, and the reading on the scale gives the magnitude of the force. In overall, in all, we can say we use as a device spring balance to measure a force of friction. Now wrap the piece of polythene around the brick and repeat this activity again. Do you observe any difference in the reading of the spring balance in the above two cases? What might be reason for this difference? The reason for this difference is that we have changed in this activity the nature of the surface. The nature of the surface may be of tube type, rough surface and smooth surface. And repeat the activity wrapping a piece of jute bag around the brick. And what do you observe? We have observed that every time by changing the nature of the surfaces, the reading must be changed at every time. That shows that friction depends on nature of the surfaces. To discuss these factors, we have again discussed to show that friction depends on the nature of the surface. We have discussed over here activity 12.3 in order to explain the factors more affecting friction more clearly. Make an inclined plane on a smooth floor or on a table. You may use a wooden board supported by bricks or books. Put a mark with a pen at any point A on the inclined plane. Now let a pencil cell move down from this point, and how far does it move on the table before coming to rest. Note down the distance. Now spread the piece of cloth on it and make sure that there are no wrinkles in the cloth, and try the activity again. Repeat this activity by spreading the thin layer of sand over the table and maintain the same slope throughout this activity. You have seen that again we have changing the nature of surface. First we have make a inclined plane, then we have covered with inclined plane with a piece of cloth. There is no wrinkle on the piece of the cloth, and third time we have spread over sand over it. And in these three cases, all these three cases, we have moving from this slope as a pencil cell moves down, and every time the distance covered by pencil cell is different. In which case the distance covered the minimum, and why is the distance covered by the pencil cell different every time? Try to reason why and discuss the result. Does the distance covered depend on the nature of the surfaces on which the cell moves? Your answer will be yes. And could the smoothness of the surface of the cell also affect the distance traveled by it? That is also yes. Actually, friction is caused by irregularities on the two surfaces in contact. Even those surfaces appears very smooth have a large number of minute irregularities on them. Irregularities on the two surfaces lock into one another. When we attempt to move any surface, we have to apply a force to overcome of interlocking. On the rough surfaces, there are a larger number of irregularities, so the force of friction is greater if a rough surface is involved. We will see that friction is caused by interlocking of irregularities in two surfaces, and it is obvious that the force of friction will increase if two surfaces are pressed harder. You can experience it by dragging a mat when nobody is sitting on it and when a person is sitting on it. Recall your experience when last time you moved a heavy box from one place to another. If you have no experience, such experience, get the experience now. What is easier to move, the box from rest or to move it when it is in already motion? Your answer will be I think when it is already in motion. Why it is not easier to move box from resting state? Because the force required to overcome friction at the instant an object start moving from rest is a measure of static friction, and on the other hand the force required to keep the object moving with the same speed is measure of its sliding friction. So already when the object is in moving position, it is easier to move, but when an object is at rest stage, it is very difficult to move due to maximum number of interlocking with the surfaces. When the box started sliding, the contact points on its surface do not get enough time to lock into the contact points on the floor, so the sliding friction is slightly smaller than the static friction, and you find it somewhat easier to move the box already in motion and then it get started. It is a practical experience. Already when any object is in moving stage, it is easier to move from one place to another, because surface at the contact point surfaces, they do not get interlocked with each other. So hence when the object is started moving already in motion, it is easier to move from one place to another. Friction unnecessary evil. Recall some of your daily life experience. Is it easier to hold a cooler or a glass tumbler? I think your answer is B. It is easier to hold a cooler. Suppose the outer surface of tumbler is greasy or has a thin layer of cooking oil on it. Would it become easier or more difficult to hold it? Just think, would it be possible to hold the glass if all there is no friction? Your answer will be no. Recall also how difficult it is to move on a wet or muddy track or wet marble floor. Can you imagine being able to walk at all there were no friction? Your answer will be no. You could not write with pen or pencil if there were no friction, and when your teacher is writing with chalk on the blackboard, its rough surface rubs off some chalk particles which stick to the blackboard, and that makes the mm, uh, could it happen if there were no friction between the chalk and the board? Your answer will be no. If an object start moving, it would never stop if there were no friction. Had there been no friction between the tires of the automobiles and the road, they could not be started or stopped or turned to change the direction of the motion. You could not fix a nail on the wall or not tie a knot. Without friction, no building could be constructed. In all these above examples, you may see that friction is necessary for all in such cases. That's why friction over here acts as a friend. On the other hand, friction is an evil too. It wears out materials, whether they are screws, ball bearings, soles of the shoes. You must have seen worn out steps of foot over bridges at the railway stations, and friction can also produce heat. Vigorously rub your palms together for a few minutes. How do you feel when you strike a matchstick against a rough surface? It catches fire easily. Do you might have observed the jar of mixer become hot when it is run for a few minutes, and you can cite various other examples in which friction produces heat. In fact, when the machine is operated, heat generated causes much wastage of energy, and we shall discuss ways of minimize friction in the following next section. And in the last few examples, you have seen that frictions produces heat, and here friction acts as an evil, and we have to minimize friction to increase the work efficiency of any machine or any other thing. Increasing and reducing friction. As you have seen in the previous section, friction is desirable in some situation. And have you ever thought why the sole of your shoes is grooved? This is done to provide the shoes better grip on the floor so that you can move safely. And similarly, the treated tires of car and trucks, bulldozers provide better grip with the ground. We deliberately increase friction by using brake pads in the brake system of bicycles and automobile. Mm, um, when you are riding a bicycle, the brake pads do not touch with the wheels, but when you press the brake lever, these pads arrest the motion of the rim due to the friction, and the wheel stops moving. You might have seen that kabaddi players rub their hands with soil for a better grip of their opponents, and gymnasts apply some coarse substance on their hands to increase friction for the better grip. In some situations, however, friction is undesirable and we want to minimize it. And why do you sprinkle fine powder on the carom board? You might have noticed that when a few drops of oil are poured on the hinges of a door, the door moves smoothly. A bicycle and a motor mechanic use grease between the moving parts of the machine. In all the above cases, we want to reduce friction in order to increase efficiency. When oil and grease or graphite is applied between the moving part of a machine, a thin layer is formed there, and moving surfaces do not directly rub against each other. Interlocking of irregularities is avoided to a great extent, and movement becomes smooth. The substances which reduce friction are called lubricants. In some machines, it may not be advisable to use oil as a lubricant. An air cushion between the moving parts is used to reduce friction. Wheels reduces friction. Lastly, we have to describe about the rolling friction. That is, the frictions are of three kinds: static friction, sliding friction, and last is rolling friction. You must have seen attaches and other pieces of luggage fitted with the roller. Even a child can pull such piece of luggage. Why it is so? When one body rolls over the surface of another body, the resistance to its motion is called rolling friction. And rolling reduces friction. It is always easier to roll than to slide a body or another. That is the reason it is convenient to pull luggage fitted with rollers. And can you now understand why the wheel is said to be one of the greatest invention of the mankind? Since the rolling friction is smaller than sliding friction, sliding is replaced in most machine by rolling by the use of ball bearings. Common examples are use of ball bearings between hubs and axles of ceiling fans and bicycle. And ceiling fans, in the ceiling fans, ball bearings are used to reduce friction in order to increase its efficiency. Now, there are some kinds of friction also, that is the friction also occurs in the fluid also, that is known as fluid friction. You know that air is very light and thin, yet it exerts frictional force on the objects moving through it. Similarly, water and other liquids exert force of friction when objects move through them. In science, the common name of gases and liquid is called fluids, and so we can say that fluid exerts force of friction on objects in motion through them. The frictional force exerted by fluid is also known as other name known as drag, and the frictional force on an object in a fluid depends on its speed with respect to the fluid, and frictional force also depend on the shape of the object and the nature of the fluid. So students, let us understand that fluid friction depends on three factors, that is the its speed, second is the nature, shape of the moving object, and nature of the fluid. It is obvious that when objects move through fluids, they have to overcome friction acting on them. In this process they lose energy. Efforts are therefore made to minimize friction, so objects are given special shape. Where do you think scientists get hints for this special shape? From nature, of course. Birds and fishes have two creatures have to move about in fluids all the time. Their bodies must have evolved to the shape which would make them lose less energy in overcoming friction. Then there is a do you see find any similarity in its shape that of a bird, the object moving in a fluid? That is, all vehicles are designed to have shapes which reduce fluid friction. That is about frictions and about the fluid friction. Okay, thank you, students.